Hello everyone, welcome back to a brand new video, and today I'm continuing my rabbit hole down the DCEU. I'm going to be talking about the extended cut of Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. I should probably say that this is the first time I've watched Batman vs. Superman in a hot minute. I've only seen it a couple times throughout, like, since its release almost 7 years ago at this point. But now, I think this is either the first time or I either forgot watching the Ultimate Edition of this. Apparently, it's rated R. I didn't really think it was rated R when I was watching it, but I guess it is rated R. Apparently, there's like a couple uses of fuck in this, so just take of that what you will. I didn't think it was needed, but it's there, I guess. I don't remember the theatrical cut enough to remember what was taken out or added in or whatever. But after doing some research, it mainly just feels like extra context more than anything. It feels like, and honestly, it feels like Warner Brothers told Zack Snyder just cut it down to be less than 2 hours, less than 3 hours. That's really more of what it felt like it was, and this ended up like we just lost a lot of context for a couple of things in the movie, which I guess I don't mind, but I would say this makes for a better, more well-rounded movie than anything. As a sequel to Man of Steel, I feel like it's a job well done. There are a couple of things where, since a lot of controversy surrounding Man of Steel was that a lot of destruction happens in the heart of Metropolis, so a lot of civilians die. There's a couple of moments where like some military people would say, "Oh, like Doomsday is on this isolated island. It's okay, nobody else is there." And it sticks out knowing, especially since I've watched them back to back. It's very funny, to me at least. From a storytelling perspective, I think this is actually pretty decent. As a sequel to Man of Steel, it gives a great explanation of like a reaction to trauma, I would say, more than anything. Although, well, being honest, Jack should have just ran out of the building. So there are still some really dumb moments in this movie. I don't need to touch on all the Martha stuff because if you know anything, this is like the thing from this movie that's really stupid, and it is. People, especially like the Snyder diehards, have tried to explain this as a very profound scene. It's just not. It's really stupid, and it's all more the fact that it's played seriously in the movie makes it even funnier. There are a couple of things here and there, but the one of the bigger ones that's not the Martha shit is gonna be, I'm gonna talk about that when I get to this character. Everything I said about Henry Cavill in my thoughts on Man of Steel pretty much still apply here. I generally like him as Superman. It's just it's just like the writing was worse in this one compared to Man of Steel, so he didn't really have a lot to do. I also noticed, I don't know if this is in the theatrical cut or not. There's a scene where Superman is like grilling eggs, not grilling eggs, but like he's frying eggs, and the eggs are very obviously just plastic eggs, and I can't believe no one else picked that up. I've never seen anybody else talk about that. It's incredibly obvious that those are just not real eggs. It feels like a nitpick, but it's very funny to me. I guess the biggest newcomer here is Ben Affleck, taking on the mantle of Batman in this universe. And I'm gonna be honest here. I really like him as Batman. I don't know. It could just be that it's based on The Dark Knight Returns, one of my favorite Batman stories ever, and they just nailed what I don't know who's in the costume department for this, but they nailed it with Batman. I love that whole look. I've always loved the older and gruffer Batman and all those stories, so I love that fact that they nailed it. There is a couple of things that I'm not a fan of that you could just take out and would just be like, there were a couple of things you could take out that would make him my favorite Batman. Like, for example, uh, I just don't think he should use guns. A grappling hook is fine. It's just he uses a. I guess I'm stealing from another video here with this line, but he uses guns to kill people, and I'm just not a big fan of that. Well, luckily, this is really the only movie where this happens, so I guess I can forgive it for that. But that's more of a personal thing than an issue with the actual movie itself. And now we come to, which I think, if I'm being honest, might be the worst part of this movie. It never occurred to me when I was watching it when it first came out, but this hit me like a wave during a couple of scenes in this. And I just thought, man, Jesse Eisenberg was not good as Lex Luthor. It's I should also say it's not his fault at all. It is entirely in the writing. I think Jesse Eisenberg is trying, but what a wild miscast. This is really shocking to me, that just how wild it is that they messed this up. Because there are just scenes in this movie that make him so annoying. He's really annoying in this. All these little sounds he makes in the movie is just it gets maddening. Even when you just sit there and listen. And if I can do it, if I have the time, I'm gonna do like a super edit of like all the little sounds he makes in this movie. And it's just really mind-boggling how this got passed.
True! Ow! Run! Cause...
Other than that, like, the rest of this stuff is just fine, I guess. There is the whole. I liked a lot of the scenes with Holly Hunter as the senator. I actually thought a lot of that plot was pretty okay. Uh, I believe this is only in the extended cut where they show more reporter work from Clark Kent, and just really, and I like that aspect a lot. They never really got to show that in any other DC movies from this era, and it's not amazing, but I'm glad they did it. And just like I'm glad they're still showing that like they didn't just completely drop that. But then again, that's only in the extended cut. Why is Lois Lane in this movie? She doesn't really do anything in this. No shade to Amy Adams. She's a great actor, but she just doesn't have anything to do in this movie other than just like be pushed off of a building by Lex, which that's the scene. Like for me, this is like Martha level dumb. The scene where it's Lex and Superman on top of that building, and like she's like, well, he's Lex is showing pictures of Martha to to Superman, and he goes like, "Ah, what's the line? What's the line that he says? I should have wrote this down. Every man's special lady is his mother. Oh my God, be quiet. Oh my God, be quiet. Just be quiet. That's why I hit my fucking limit with Lex. I'm very glad he's just not in a good chunk of the rest of this movie, except for that last scene with him where he's like in the prison and he's doing like the bell can't be unrung and all that. It's like, dude, I'm gonna beat your ass and I'm gonna ring your bell, okay? Stop. I don't want to end this on a negative note, so I decided to write down like an angle that I caught in this that I actually kind of enjoyed. There's like I'm not a fan of the Jesus allegories that they give Superman, but they keep it more broad in this, and they talk about uh like they're more than superheroes, they're gods, and I kind of like that angle to it, but like not like, like capital G God, but just like Greek gods. I like that aspect of it, especially with including Wonder Woman's debut in this, and just and I like the angle of just having a mythology here for all these characters. And I'm gonna be honest, when I get to the Justice League movies, I'm gonna see if they carry over, because that's something I never really noticed, and maybe I can gain something from that because I like that approach to the idea of superheroes, and I don't really see it in any other ones right now. I gotta admit, Batman versus Superman took a lot out of me in a way that I didn't really expect it to. This is at least the extended cut. There's a lot going on here, and I kind of get why most of it was cut. There's just so much in here that didn't really need to be anything or like at all, but like there are so many other plot lines happening here that I just didn't care about. And I wanted to see Batman and Superman fight each other. Granted, that scene was pretty cool, but like it's towards the end, and it ends on a sour note with that Martha bullshit. But at least it was entertaining still. Which some of these other movies, especially the next one, I can't say that for. So I guess I'm gonna go with that, and I'm gonna give Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice, the Ultimate Edition. God, that's a mouthful. A 6 out of 10. It is a very flawed movie in many different ways, but I think it's a little entertaining, and that gains the extra little point of, hey, it's perfectly fine. All right, those are my thoughts on Batman versus Superman. It's gonna get so much worse for the next one. Since this is still a big debate in like on social media, do you like Batman versus Superman? Are you which camp are you in on this? Both have their sides and their good points. I wanted to throw my opinion in the ring on this one. So, did you like Batman vs Superman? Are you going to stick with me for the mental hell that is going to be Suicide Squad 2016, which I'm dreading watching that again, but I'm this far in, so we might as well do it. Anyway, let me know what you think. Just interact with me, talk with me, like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video. See ya.